and 7. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and then we're going to make a folding single crochet in the same stitch and the corresponding back loop of round 5. Okay, so first of all, jiggle in, making sure that you are in the back loop. Obviously, because that's a standing stitch, we've got that little knot there. Okay, and then just flip your work forward slightly, and if you put your finger against that next stitch, you can very easily and clearly see the back loop you've got to work into. So what you're going to do is yarn over, pull through both of those back loops, and then make your single crochet. Okay, then each corner we made 5 front loop trebles. This is where you've got your marked stitch and where you'll find it very handy. Okay, so into the back loop of the next stitch, down into that marked back loop, next one into the same marked back loop, that's 2, there's number 3, and last one, number 5. Right, once you've done that 5th one, then you can take your stitch marker out and pop it into the 3rd folding single crochet. Okay, so there's number 5, 4, 3. Often easier to count backwards. Okay, you are then going to make folding single crochet in the next 15 stitches. So again, into the back loop, just pinch that next stitch, so as you flip over you can easily see there's the back loop of this stitch that we're working on. Okay, so it's just really easy. It's a little bit fiddly for some people, and I know it's what I call a Marmite stitch. If you live in the UK, you will know what that means. For the rest of the world, Marmite is a yeast spread like Vegemite in the in Australia, New Zealand, etc. And you either love it or hate it. I personally hate Marmite with a vengeance, but there we go. But I love folding single crochets and I love the effect it gives. Okay, so you're just going to carry on all the way round. Each time as you take a stitch, go into the back loop, just pinch the stitch next to it, flip forward, oops, and into the back loop, make your single crochet. And because we've now folded over and secured that stitch down, you can see that any lifting that you had no longer shows or matters. Everything's anchored down. Okay, I would also suggest, before you go too far, pop a marker in that very first stitch that you made, because it's going to be very, very easy to mistake that rising chain 1 for a stitch. Okay, so into the first stitch, that's where we're going to join to, fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, round 8, and we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch after any corner folding single. Okay, so our corner ones are marked 1, 2, 3, and there's number 4. Okay, and then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, right, and then our repeat. We are going to skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch we're going to make 4 treble chain 1, 4 treble. So again, because we're stretching, just yarn over once, skip 3, yarn over through 2, pinch, take your hook out, pick up that slack yarn back into your working loop through 2 and through 2. Okay, so we keep nice and neat on that top loop. And again, as I said before, you only need to do that with the very first stitch, because it's because of that stretch that you get the baggy top loop. Okay, so 3, 4, chain 1, and then 4 more treble, all in that same stitch. Okay, so we've got 4 treble, chain 1, 4 treble. Pull that over to make sure that you don't skip an extra stitch here. We're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet in the next 3. Okay, then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, making sure that you keep your chains the same size as the top loops of your normal stitches. Okay, we're then going to skip the next 7 stitches. So you've got 3 before the marked one, oops, and then 1, 2, 3 afterwards, and single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, so those 3 match with the ones that we did there. Okay, so our repeat is skip 3 in the next stitch, 4 treble, chain 1, 4 treble, okay, and you'll actually see that lines up with the center one from here. Okay, skip 3, single crochet in 3, chain 5 and skip 7 stitches, and then single crochet in the next 3. Okay, so repeat that 4 times. You're going to omit the last 3 single crochet because you've already made those at the beginning here. Join to that standing single crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 9, we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the single crochet before any chain 5 space. Okay, we are then in the chain 5 space, we're going to make 2 single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet through the marked stitch that we've got here and the chain 5 space. Okay, so the top loops of the marked stitch and the chain 5 are both on top of your hook as you come through and make that single crochet. Okay, and then another 2 single crochet in the next stitch, which is the first of those 3 single crochet. Okay, we're then going to skip the next 2 stitches, and we're then going to make bead stitch. So if you've not made this before, okay, yarn over once into the stitch, and you're going to make a normal double crochet. Okay, we're then going to make essentially what's a puff stitch around the post of this double crochet. Okay, so yarn over, come around and pull up a loop and lift it so that your hook sits on the other side. Okay, not on top like this, right over to the other side of the double crochet. We're going to do that 3 times. Okay, so that was 1, yarn over, round, pull up a loop, 2 and 3. So just give it like a little flick with your hook to lift it up. Okay, make sure that there's no tension on this yarn. Okay, yes, it's guiding through your fingers, but if you're someone who yanks and holds onto yarn for dear life, just let go. Okay, because you want to pinch at the bottom, turn so that your hook's pointing downwards, pull all the way through. Okay, but don't yank on this, because that is what will squash your bead stitches, and instead of being this lovely little square bead, it will end up like a little triangle. Okay, and then we're going to skip the next stitch. We're going to do that twice. Okay, so again, make a double crochet, and you can see, look how low down that 3rd loop is. Okay, so that we're not squashing these together. Yarn over, and then come right around at the bottom of the post, so you're below that 3rd loop. Lift, lift and lift. Okay, in the chain 1 corner space, we're going to make a bead stitch, chain 2 and bead stitch. Okay, so I've shown you how to make the bead stitches here, so I'm going to make the rest around the point and then come back and talk to you about the placement. Okay, so in that chain 1 point space, bead stitch, chain 2, bead stitch. Again, make sure that you don't pull tight and you keep that stitch nice and square. When we worked up this side, we did bead stitch, skip a stitch. So to make the 2 sides look symmetrical, when we come down, we're going to skip a stitch, bead stitch, skip a stitch, bead stitch. Okay, we are then going to skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet in the next one, which is that stitch before the chain 5 space. Okay, so in the chain 5 space, 2 single crochet through the mark stitch and trapping the chain 5 in there, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, which is the first of those 3 single crochet, skip 2, and then, as I've just said, bead stitch, skip a stitch twice in the chain 1 space, bead, chain 2, bead, and then it's skip 1 bead, skip 1 bead, skip the next 2 and single crochet in that last single crochet. Okay, so repeat that 4 times. You're going to omit the last single crochet because you've already made it here. Join to that standing single crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Okay, and then on each side you're going to have a total of 7 single crochet, and you've got 6 bead stitches and a chain 2 space on your points. Okay, round 10. Little hint before we start, that each bead stitch is made up of 2 stitches, so you've got 2 sets of top loops, one for the double crochet and one for the puff stitch part. Okay, so we're going to start off by joining with a standing double crochet in the last stitch of any side. Okay, so that's the top loops for the double crochet part, and that's the top loops for the puff stitch part, so that is our last stitch there. Okay, That's the first chain there. Okay, in the corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. Okay, so it's more than a normal corner because we're forcing the shape square again now. Two and 3. Okay, and move your corner marker up into that corner. Okay, double crochet in the next 19 stitches, making sure that you don't skip that first one that can be hidden. Okay, so remember 1, 2 for each puff stitch. Okay, and then you're just going to work all the way across 19 double crochet, and each corner is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So you're going to end with a total stitch count of 25 double crochet per side. Okay, so all the way round and join to that standing double crochet with a slip stitch. Round 11. Okay, we're going to slip stitch in the next 3 stitches. So when you do your slip stitches, make sure that they're just under the top 2 loops. Okay, so that when you come to work into those stitches on this next round, you can clearly see. Let me zoom right in. Okay, so you can clearly see you've got the 3rd loop coming across at the bottom here, so you can see that you're going to pop your hook in there to work the stitches. Okay, the reason and we're going to go into the chain 2 corner space. The reason for doing these slip stitches is so that we don't have what looks like a seam going up in the next round. The more you can do any chain that counts as a stitch in a corner, the less obvious it will be. Okay, so we're going to chain 3. That counts as our first double crochet. We're then going to double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. So we've got normal corners on this round. Okay, a normal double crochet corner is 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. There we go. Okay, now we're going to quite simply double crochet in the next 25 stitches, making sure that we don't skip that first stitch. Okay, so nice simple round to make us completely square before we move on to the next section of pattern. Okay, so corners, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then double crochet in each stitch across, which is 25. So you've got a total stitch count now of 29 double crochet per side. Okay, all the way around, join to the top of the chain 3, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 12, and we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the 4th stitch before any corner space. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, there's number 4. Okay, so we've got 3 stitches left before the corner space. Okay, then I'll repeat. We're going to skip those 3 stitches, and in the chain 2 corner space we're going to make a 2 treble cluster and then chain 2, 2 treble cluster 4 times. Okay, so because we're stretching, yarn over once, into the corner and through 2 loops. Pinch, pick up that slack yarn to avoid your saggy baggy top, and through 2. Okay, yarn over twice, through 2, through 2. Okay, so we've got 2 partial trebles there. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so that's our first 2 treble cluster. We're then going to chain 2 and make another 2 treble cluster. Okay, 1, and 2. Okay, and we're going to do that 4 times. Chain 2, 2 treble cluster, 4 times. Okay, so we've got a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2 treble clusters and 1, 2, 3, 4 chain 2 spaces. Okay, now as you can see, you've got an awful lot of stitches in there, so be very aware of that first hidden stitch. Okay, you're going to skip 3, so look to your posts. You are then going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches. Okay, so it's 8 single crochet. Then again we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and in the next stitch, which if you look back to down here, that middle single crochet that went into that previous round, we're following that up. So we're going to make another shell exactly the same as this one in the middle here. Okay, so again, because you're stretching, just yarn over once, pick up the slack yarn. Okay, and if you're looking at the pattern, you've got open bracket, 2 treble cluster. You've then got open bracket again, chain 2, 2 treble cluster, close bracket 4 times, and then another closed bracket. Okay, so the 2 outer brackets or parentheses are for the entire thing that we're doing all into the 1 stitch. The ones in the middle are for the little repeat, so that 2 treble cluster comes first, and then we're going to do chain 2, 2 treble cluster 4 times. Okay, so again we've got 5 2 treble clusters, 4 chain 2 spaces. You're going to skip the next 3 stitches. Again, be very careful that you don't skip an extra one there. You're then going to single crochet in the next 8 stitches, which again is going to leave you 3 here to skip. Okay, so technically we're doing the repeat 8 times, but it's written as 4 because you've got a corner cluster shell and you've got a side cluster shell. Okay, so skip 3, and then you're going to make this point group, 2 treble cluster, and then chain 2 2 treble cluster 4 times, total of 5 clusters, 4 chain 2 spaces. Skip 3, single in 8, and then repeat that again. Skip 3, do your cluster point, skip 3, single in 8. Okay, all the way round. Join to that standing single crochet, fasten off and secure your ends. Round 13, and we're going to join with a standing single crochet in the second single crochet before the corner point. Okay, and then I'll repeat. We're going to skip that next stitch, that last single, front post double crochet around the next stitch, and then we're going to do 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space, and front post double around the next stitch, and we're going to do that 4 times. Okay, so we've got a front post double around each of the clusters and 3 double crochet in each of the chain 2 spaces. Okay, then we're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now our side point is going to be slightly different. We're going to front post single around each of the clusters, and we're going to make 3 single crochet in each of the chain 2 spaces. Okay, so front post single, and then 3 single crochet. Okay, so our side points are done with single crochets. Front post single around each of the clusters and 3 single crochets in each of the chain 2 spaces. Okay, then again we're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so skip the stitch before the point group, and then your corner points are done with double crochets, front post doubles, 3 doubles in each of the chain spaces, skip the next stitch, single in 6, and then your side point is made with single crochets, so front post singles around the clusters and 3 singles in each of the chain 2 spaces. Skip the next one, single in 6. Okay, go ahead and do that 4 times. Come all the way round, join to that first standing single crochet, fasten off and secure your ends.